Hello, everybody. It's July 23rd. I'm Selena Seibert from Wisconsin. We are here with Andre today.
Hey, y'all know what it is. Andre the Torch Robinson here to report once again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to thank everybody who supports bringing it full circle right off the jump. I want to thank y'all. We appreciate you greatly. I have something special in line first and foremost. We're gonna do something a little different today. Um, it goes a little something like this. I'm just gonna let y'all see.
Today is Wednesday, June 24th. I'm Selena from Wisconsin.
I'm Andre Robinson from 716 Western New York, Buffalo region.
How you doing tonight, Andre?
I'm feeling very good, very, very good. I'm excited about this.
Me too. You seem relaxed and chill.
Yes, absolutely. About to bring it full circle.
Well, we are going to jump right into the world and national news this evening, starting with stimulus check. What? You've been wondering, you've been thinking about it, you've been asking about it. Yes, 2 days ago, Trump spoke on Americans receiving a second stimulus check and that it would be generous. Is he saying how much? No, but he keeps repeating that it will be generous. He states that it could happen in the next couple of weeks. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has set a July deadline to make a decision on whether Americans will see a second stimulus check or not. Why are they taking so long to aid the American people? Well, the problem is the Senate, House, and White House advisors can't seem to agree on the details. Surprise. Yet, some politicians in Washington, including President Donald Trump, seem to have already made up their minds. Some Americans are upset they haven't received the first stimulus check. It is estimated that roughly 35 million Americans have not received their first check. Don't worry, your funds may still be scheduled to come from the IRS later this year. We do suggest you check your address on your account and your account information on your tax returns. Is the information current? If not, you may need to contact the government to update your information in the system. Andre, are you ready for another stimulus check?
Absolutely not.
What?
Yes, absolutely not. No, I actually think, to be honest with you, that they need to do something about paying people's rents. I think that would be more feasible for the American people. Rent. Pay
Rent?
people's rents.
Yep.
Right now, technically, they're in refuge from a natural pandemic. Their houses are refuge. If you can't go out work, you can't make money to pay your rent and other bills. So to get the $1,200, just give us rent free. I'll be all right with that.
I agree with that. There are a lot of landlords as well who are suffering from this, who can't pay their own mortgage and a mortgage from who they're renting to. There's a lot going on with that.
Very true. Very, very true. This pandemic has put a lot of people, put a lot of binds on a lot of people.
Absolutely. How about everyone send us your opinions by tweeting us on Twitter at BIF Circle.
There you go. BIF Circle. You know what it is. Get on Twitter. Let's go.
And now we're going to jump right into Alabama news with Andre.
All right. Alabama news, everybody. Y'all ready? All right. So, we wanted to play that little snippet. We're not going to tell you why until the end of the show. There's a reason why we did that, but you will learn about why later. Like and share the show. Support us on Facebook, Bringing It Full Circle. Support us on Twitter at BIF Circle. All right, we got a whole lot of news. Selena.
My glasses are fogging up.
It's okay. Um, wow. World news. What's going on in world news, Selena?
All right, we're gonna go into world news here. Gonna try. Um, this is actually national news today. After backlash, Trump backtracks. The Trump administration on Tuesday backtracked its policy that would have stripped visas from the international students whose courses more exclusively online amid the COVID-19 outbreak. The move comes after the policy announcement last week sparked a flurry of litigation, starting with a suit brought by the Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also known as MIT, followed by California's public colleges and later a coalition of 17 states, along with some other challenges. The latest development cancels a move in the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, last week announced that the international students whose courses move entirely online would be required to leave the country or change schools. It reinstates a sooner plan to grant exemptions to student visa holders. ICE turned itself around with a little warning last week, saying that any student visa holders in the U.S. would have to leave the country if their schools held classes entirely online. In Boston, the Harvard MIT suit asked a federal court for a temporary restraining order and permanent injunction against the administration's new policy. The universities accuse the administrations of committing multiple violations of federal law known as the Administration Procedure Act, also known as APA, which concerns how certain decision-making power resides with federal agencies. At issue, the issue was whether ICE's new policy was legally justified or if it was arbitrary and we're just going to go with arbitrary right now, and thus legal under the Act. The recession said on Tuesday marked yet another surprising twist in the Trump administration approach to student visas amid the pandemic. So, Andre, we talked about this a little bit last week. This was before he had rescinded. You were PO'd, I remember, about the student visas and President Trump and these students who would have to go back home if they couldn't go to school and had to do it online. They had to go back home. So
Yeah, absolutely. I was upset. Definitely.
I know a lot of people were.
I think he was using an agenda that is positive. People who want to better themselves in life, people who want to actually get a college education and further their life as far as their careers is concerned, come to the United States because they believe the United States offers the best opportunities for that. And then you have a silly president who decides to, and this is just my opinion. Yes, I called 45 out, and I said silly. Um, who decides to take that purpose or that reasoning for coming here and then turns it into a negative as he wants to support this lame agenda as far as keeping immigrants out of the United States by now deporting them because classes aren't in session right now, so they could just go back to where they're from. My question is, number one, are you gonna pay for that? Number two, secondly, are you gonna pay for them to come back? Number three, um, why do they need to leave? They're not doing anything wrong. I mean, did they commit any crimes that they need to leave? I think this.
They have a visa. They have a
People
visa
are,
to be here.
yeah, and people are going to use the lame agenda as far as the pandemic is concerned. There's a pandemic, and the less people we have, the less chances there are of catching COVID-19. Okay, I think the American people have done a good job already with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Proving how good they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hit over 4 million in positive cases, by the way.
Yeah, good job.
United States. Yeah, good job. So let's send students who have visas, who have paid tuitions, back home and spread it back over there.
Yeah, let's just.
Yeah. So he's rescinded. Thankfully, we had those colleges and those states step forward and put the pressure on him. And he's backtracked on that.
Good. Hope there's a lot of other things he backtracks onto.
Yep. We got to put him under the pressure.
Absolutely.
So, going into more national news and putting pressure on Trump, he is firing back in other ways. Federal law enforcement officers used unmarked vehicles to detain protesters in Portland, according to news reports, and at least one protester who spoke to USA Today. Video shared online showed officers driving up to people, detaining them without explanation, and then driving off. The ACLU filed a lawsuit on Friday evening to try to end what is called lawlessness on the streets in Portland. Connor O'Shea, who's 30 in Portland, a resident who's been attending protests for almost 2 months, told US Today that early Thursday morning around 2 a.m., he and a friend had left protests downtown and were walking back to their car when they were suddenly pursued by men who they believed to be federal agents. Protests in Oregon, Oregon's largest city, following this police killing of George Floyd, have continued for 47 days. The Trump administration has sent federal officers from multiple agencies to cities. Tensions escalated after an officer of the U.S. Marshal Service fired a less lethal round at protesters' head on July 11th, critically injuring him. A spokesperson for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection said Border Patrol agents have been deployed to Portland to protect federal property and ongoing protests. While the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, respects every American's right to protest peacefully, violence and civil unrest will not be tolerated, the agency said. However, officers appear to detain people who weren't near any federal property, and it isn't clear that all of those being arrested committed a crime. Today, President Donald Trump says he will send federal agents into Chicago and Albuquerque to help combat rising crime as he runs for re-election under a law and order mantle. Trump spoke of only of Chicago and Albuquerque, but the White House later in a press release said the program will be expanded in the next few weeks, also into Cleveland, Detroit, and Milwaukee as well. Trump has been warning that the violence will worsen if his Democratic rival Joe Biden wins in December. All right, that's it for national news. But Andre, we got a can of worms there because, I mean, I don't know about you, but to me that kind of screams like almost martial law.
Yeah, they've been trying to pump that idea for a while, martial law, trying to keep people separated, and this behind the scenes agenda of separatism by having martial law implemented. We've seen that a couple of times, and obviously by my demeanor, you see that I'm bored with it. I'm tired of hearing this martial law crap because obviously, in martial law, you can have your rights definitely violated at any point in time.
Yeah. To me, what's scary about it is you can be walking on the street and not doing anything, walking back to your car, and people jump out of a van and pull you into an unmarked van. You have no idea who these people are.
Sure don't.
It's scary.
Absolutely.
So if anybody, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was going to say if anybody has any thoughts or ideas, any opinions on it, make sure to comment and also tweet us. You can tweet us. You can email us at bringing it full circle at gmail.com. Give us your opinions, your thoughts. Am I jumping too far into the rabbit hole?
I think you are very well articulated. I think your synopsis is very, very, very educated and wise,
Thank you.
and we appreciate that.
All right. Or what?
Um, and I think with bringing it full circle, we love to turn the tides of how media and news is looked upon. So with that being said, when we return from this commercial break, I will be rolling the tide on Alabama news. See you shortly. Bringing it full circle. All right.
Choice in the backfield, going deep for the 50. He takes it inside the 25. He's working on. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Daniel. Check out sports shows on the fastest growing streaming TV network, the OnPoint Network. You can stream it on Roku, Amazon, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Xbox, YouTube, and Facebook. Download the OnPoint channel and network app to any smart device. It's free, everybody. It's free.
Fly ass chicks and paper pretty ass lips. With a trap always now doubled up on my bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with it. Rapping the pack, let's see what it is. Swerve with the traffic like I lost control of the whip. Hurt the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double my thing, that's without you hugging the bridge.
All right, folks. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Alabama news coming your way. Here we go. Alabama teachers are still concerned about safety as they return to school. Again, Governor Ivey was awarded $7 million to support the Alabama State Department of Education's Education Health Wellness Grant Program and $100 million to support the Educational Remote Learning Devices Grant Program. Each educational agency applying for reimbursement under the Education Remote Learning Devices Grant Program prior to expending funds must provide the following to the ASD of Education. Obviously, that's Alabama State Department of Education. A remote learning plan compatible with the devices to purchase. Information ensuring that teachers and instructors are prolific with the operations of the device, including technical support. A plan developed by each school to ensure each student has the access and availability to the internet, and a plan for maintenance of the devices, including software updates, physical repairs, and a replacement of lost and damaged devices. Miss Thomas, a teacher at Sumner Central High School in Livingston, Alabama, stated that the district did a survey with parents. They wanted their children to do virtual learning. She agrees with virtual learning, puts great emphasis on education, but it is important for the safety of staff and students to take precautions. I wish a lot of other people would take precautions. I am glad that the district decided to virtual learn for the first 9 weeks. They will be distributing laptops and setting up hotspots. They will be using our buses as mobile hotspots as well. Interesting, interesting, interesting. All right, so that's teachers being concerned still in Alabama about the education, virtual education, things of that nature. That's been a hot topic all over the U.S. Major, major topics. Okay. Um, Again, for those who didn't hear yesterday, I'm going to repeat this again because this is very important news as it concerns the NCAA and college sports. Well, there is a conference, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, that has postponed its fall athletic competition because of the COVID-19 pandemic and hopes to shorten the football season during the spring semester. Fall sports impacted by this will be, and including two, men's and women's cross country, football, women's soccer, and women's volleyball. All right, the SWAT, because that's what we call it. The SWAC is planning a 7-game schedule in football and an 8-week training program that starts in January. Each team would play 6 games with the option of one non-conference game. Plans on other sports and the football championship will be announced at a later date. After the SWAT announced the suspension of all sports events Monday, Commissioner Charles McClendon says the decision affects more than just the SWAT schools. No Magic City Classic. The surrounding cities and businesses will miss a large revenue because of events being postponed like this. Yet, some primetime television spots for schools and players. There will be some primetime television spots for schools and players, so some people could benefit out of this pandemic. Alabamans, do you feel like not having Magic City Classic is an issue? If you do, and you think that the school should reschedule this big event or don't, please tweet us at BIF Circle. All right. So, with that being said, that is Alabama news. I gave you the numbers yesterday on COVID-19. I'm kind of tired of giving the numbers on COVID-19 because I wish it was just gone and done and over with. But we know that this is going to be a longer process than usual. And Selena, my questions to you are: have we still figured out solutions that may be better than the solutions already in place for how to better precautionary, have better precautionary or better precautions for COVID-19?
Have who figured out, me and you, or
Have,
just the
yeah,
country?
just in general.
Um, I don't think so. I think everybody's still just as confused as they were when it started, if not more so.
Sad to say. I wish.
I think people are coming forward with some good ideas, but there are still issues that are not being that like you and I were discussing yesterday personally with our kids. We want to keep them at home, but our kids don't know yet. And so we still have to discuss this with our kids. You know, how do our kids feel? How's their mental health? Are we talking about just sports or schools or
We're talking about sports, schools, everything.
everything? Work?
Work. All right. With that being said, we are going to work into our next commercial break, and when we come back, Wisconsin news will be on the docket. All right, Wisconsin news coming up with Selena Seibert coming up.
It's Andre. Oh no, it's me.
That's right. It's all you.
With them fly ass chicks and baby pretty ass lips. For them trap boys now doubled up on bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with a gift. Rapping the package, see what it is. Swerving the traffic like I lost control of the whip. Heard the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double lines, they nothing when you're hugging the brick.
All right. We are back, bringing it full circle. Yes. Selena,
Yeah.
Wisconsin time. What's
I
up?
just got some Wisconsin time here. And to one of the comments, Ricky, I don't like cheese, LOL. This report isn't about cheese, but just so you know, we have beer here too. Good beer. Anyway, Pence is coming to Wisconsin and he must wear a mask. In Madison, Wisconsin, a small liberal arts college hosting a campaign visit by Vice President Mike Pence told Pence that he and everyone going to his speech must wear a mask and stay 6 feet away from one another. Pence's campaign staff did not respond to questions about whether Pence would wear a mask and follow them right away. As of Friday, Pence plans to speak at a Ripon College, a private school of approximately 800 students about 90 miles north of Milwaukee, before doing a farm tour and hosting a roundtable discussion in western Wisconsin. The city of Ripon, which touts itself the birthplace of the Republican Party, is in the Green Bay media market, which is a critical swing area for Donald Trump in the battleground state. I respect that there are people who disagree with my decision, the school's president, Zach Massett, said in an internal email sent Wednesday to the campus community. While we have our own personal political opinions, it bears repeating that Ripon College does not endorse political candidates. If former Vice President Biden or his soon-to-be named running mate were to make a similar request, I would respond the same way. Massett said that the college only allowed Pence to rent a space at the undisclosed indoor campus location, provided that college rules regarding social distancing and masking were followed. Those rules discourage anyone from entering campus building with symptoms of COVID-19 and fever, and requires anyone in the campus building to keep 6 feet apart away from each other and wear a mask. The Vice President's staff has been made aware of our expectations in this regard, and that all attendees, including the Vice President, are to follow them, campus spokesman Rick Dam said on Thursday. Moving on, unemployment. Why is this still an issue? Where are we? Hold on a second, bear with me. There we go. Why is this still an issue? 3% is the number that Wisconsin unemployment dropped, which is good. However, there is still an underlying issue of 140,000 Wisconsinites who have not received any payment for unemployment. Job centers help around 150 a day who are struggling to make ends meet. Wisconsin Democrats are hoping to take stress off Wisconsin's overwhelmed unemployment system. Going into session and passing these would make sure people get the benefits that they have earned, they deserve, a lot faster without delay, said Senator Chris Larson. The Department of Workforce Development was trying to work through the system that is handed by the previous administration, Larson said. Senator Larson helped write a bundle of 8 bills that would undo laws put into place under Governor Scott Walker, our previous governor. This means taking away 1-week waiting period for benefits to kick in, as well as giving more opportunity to who may be eligible for benefits from people on Social Security disability and students in tech school. Right now, there's a presumption in the system where a person asking for help is a fraud, and they have to go through the process to prove that they're not, Larson said. The proposed legislation is already getting flack from Republicans. Germantown Congressman Dan Nody said in his statement, "Right now, thousands of families across the state have been waiting desperately for months to get their unemployment checks from Governor Everts' Department of Workforce Development. Instead, trying to repeal the positive reforms we've made, perhaps my Democrat colleagues could join us in pressuring Governor Everts to actually do his job." Strong fighting words. Larson is afraid that if both sides aren't able to think of a solution soon, there will be consequences. "We need to make sure that our neighbors are not going homeless or going hungry and able to survive in this pandemic," Larson said. So, Andre, this is kind of going back into COVID again, and just how many people it's still affecting, and, having to go back to work and make the decision whether it's safe or not to go back to work or not. But I have to. I have no money coming in. It's a broken system.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what the numbers are in New York like that? Or closer?
I know there's over 30,000 people here waiting for unemployment.
I know a lot of Wisconsinites are also waiting for even their tax refund to come back still.
Yeah.
So it's overloaded, it's broken, it's crazy. Anyway, more with Wisconsin news. COVID in Wisconsin this week, more COVID news. Hold on again, bear with me. Here we go. As coronavirus hospitalizations jump on Friday, Wisconsin reported 880 new positive tests for coronavirus. The State Department of Health Services says the positive tests made up 6.6 of the 13,407 total tests reported on Friday. In Wisconsin, there have now been 40,507 confirmed cases of coronavirus, the sickness caused by the new coronavirus. Another 712 197 negative tests have been reported. On Friday, Wisconsin reported 2 new deaths, bringing the total to 833. DHS considers over 31,000 people who have recovered from the coronavirus. Wisconsin hospitals said they are caring for 331 total patients with positive coronavirus tests, a jump of 23 since Thursday. As of those, 96 were in the intensive care unit, 8 more than on Thursday. Another 172 are waiting for their results. Hospitalizations have increased more than 40% in 13 days. On July 4th, 235 coronavirus patients were hospitalized in Wisconsin. Since April, that was the lowest number. Hospitals said that they had 102,063 ventilators on hand, of which 302 were being used. Of the 2,552 hospital beds in the state, 11,000 were still available. And in other news, unrelated to Corona, Twister. Friday night in Maple, Wisconsin, thunderstorms and lightning ripped across the Northland, including a confirmed tornado. Duluth National Weather Service meteorologist Joe Moore said, We had a few rounds of some strong, severe thunderstorms that went across Northland last night. Severe weather continued in early hours. The damage wasn't fully what the NWS thought. The wind damage was a little bit more sporadic than we anticipated, but we did get a lot of reports of wind damage, said Moore. The damage came with a small tornado that came through the Maple and Blueberry, Wisconsin area. Late in the night, around 1 or 2 a.m. on radar, it looks like we're detecting signatures of a brief, quick tornado spin-ups, said Moore. On Saturday, the NWS had gotten damage reports from spotters. We're going to take all the information that we can get from the county, from our spotters, and other information we have. We may go out and do a survey, said Moore. And that is it for Wisconsin news. Andre, have there been any touchdowns, tornado sightings in New York? Any weather damage?
It's interesting because we thought a tornado was coming our way recently, just like past couple of days. It's raining here now. It was very gloomy here. I haven't seen it this gloomy in a while. When you speak of rain and weather, being that it's been a really, really hot last couple of weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or so. Hopefully ain't no tornadoes coming here. We don't need none of that.
We don't get a lot of them here in Wisconsin. We seldom. I've never, ever in my life seen a tornado. And Baraboo never gets them. They say it's because we have the Baraboo Bluffs surrounding us. I don't know. Do you know what the Baraboo Bluffs are, Andre? You've lived here.
I've heard Baraboo Bluff before.
Yeah.
I didn't live in Wisconsin.
They're big hills. They're really big hills. And we're surrounded by them in Baraboo. So I don't know if it's a wives' tale or if it's true or not, but it's said that if we got a tornado in Baraboo, they would bounce off the bluffs and they wouldn't come into town. But yeah, as far as weather goes in Wisconsin, or at least around here, it's been pretty cool the last few days. It's been not too bad. Yesterday got a little bit humid out, but it's been pretty cool out the last few days and not so humid. And at nighttime, like last night, it was actually a little bit chilly. I had to wear a jacket out. Nights have been really chilly, actually. But anyway, that's all for Wisconsin news.
All right. Well, sit and chill as it's chilly. As it's been real chilly, sit and chill. We'll be back with New York news. We will be back with New York news. This is bringing it full circle. Let's get this fire started. Sports became my passion. Time will bring it to life, highlighting all the action. Our teams could explode like a chemical reaction. If you started from the bottom, now right up to new with caption. And it's known that every team and every person got an emphasis. But there's a similarity that's all of our differences. Statements can be real, better back it up with evidence. Prove it for the record. Power of deliverance. Ain't this outside the lines, but we do it quite frankly. Cause I'm around the horn, so it's hard to interrupt it. Cause I hate that they be playing. Cause I don't want their production. All right. We are back, bringing it full circle. Selena Seibert.
Don't look at me like that.
With the torch. The fire starter. Andre. So, Western New York 716, stand up. Put some lights and hearts in the air for yourselves if you're watching. Everyone that's supporting right now, put some lights and hearts in the air. If you're on Facebook, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's time to report the 716 news in New York Region News. And it goes a little something like this. All right. North Tonawanda man arrested after police chase across Rainbow Bridge ends with a crash in Ontario. Suspect assaulted the officer and bit the nurse. Okay. Wow. North Tonawanda man is facing more than a half a dozen charges, including assaulting an officer after police say he crossed the Rainbow Bridge into Canada without stopping, led police officers on a chase that ended with a crash. The Niagara Regional Police say Harpe Singh, 33, drove a Ford Explorer with Florida license plates across the bridge through the border services around 2 p.m. Monday. The chase ensued and ended with a crash with the marked police vehicle near 2nd Avenue and Kinshire Streets. Whoa, buddy. When officers tried to take Harpe into custody, investigators say he assaulted one of the police officers, forcing the police officer to use a taser on him. The officer suffered minor injuries while taking Harpe into the hospital for evaluation. Police say he damaged the police cruiser by kicking the window cage. After arriving at the hospital, he bit a nurse, causing minor injuries to her as well. Investigators say oxycodone and hydrocodone were found in Harpe's possession. He remained in custody at the Niagara Regional Police while waiting bail hearing Thursday. Selena, does this sound like another case of mental health?
Very possible.
Sounds like this guy may have been a mental health patient.
Yeah.
What I'm gathering.
And he'll probably be criminalized for it.
Yep. And on top of that, people are getting tired of Canada being shut down. I am one who tends to like Canada a lot and loves to go to Canada a lot to have lots of fun, especially in certain places in Canada. And no, I know what y'all thinking. Don't even think about it. I don't attend those type of places, but I do like Clifton Hills, and I do like the hotels in Canada too. They're nice, fun. The water parks, fun, exciting. Yes. So I like to go to Canada a lot. All right.
I've never been to Canada.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No, I've never been outside of the United States. I've traveled inside the United States, but a lot. But
you gotta make that. You gotta make that. Put that on your to-do list.
New Zealand is the first place I'm going outside of the country.
Wow. New Zealand. You're gonna have to tell me how New Zealand is, because I'm probably never going there unless it's something with Rise Up Family. Probably never gonna be able to go to New Zealand.
Why?
Let me know how that goes. That's
you know what was filmed in New Zealand?
Tell me.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh Lord.
It's gorgeous. Anyway.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I'm wondering if we can get some help from the Lord of the Rings to put out fires, as the Buffalo Fire Department is trying to figure out what caused the two-alarm fire in the city's Babcock area that injured two firefighters. A division chief told a couple sources that the fire broke out, in a vacant home at the 1200 block of Seneca. That's right down the street from where I work, around 2 a.m. on Thursday. Quickly spread through the house and damaged two adjacent homes that are occupied. The fire department says the residents of those homes were able to evacuate safely and were able to return to their homes once crews brought the fire under control. The damage to the vacant house was so extensive that it had to be demolished, unfortunately. The other two homes sustained about 35,000 plus in damages between the two. Two firefighters were sent to ECMC. One suffered burns, the other suffered an injured their knee. Both are expected to recover greatly. This fire is still under investigation and it is a developing story. All right. So we will have more on this story as it pertains to the fires that just took place in the Babcock region of Buffalo, New York. Now, while there's fires going on in Babcock region, there's burglaries going on in Kenmore. The burglary in Kenmore, in the village of Kenmore, the police are going to need your help identifying several burglary suspects who are definitely caught on video. I'm going to have a Mayor Brown moment. Yes, you, the ones who are stealing out of businesses, have been caught on camera. Yes, you have been caught on camera. All right. You can see they were caught, and this happened on July 11th. I will show you the video on the next Bringing It Full Circle. It is unclear which business this burglary took place at. Kind of awkward. If you have any information, you can call the police, though, here at 716-875-1234. Selena. Doesn't it seem a little awkward? They don't know what business this is.
What?
They don't know what business this is. How do you not know what business it is? You know it was burglarized, but you don't know what business. Awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Smile, you're on candid camera.
But you're on camera. You idiot. You're on camera. You're really on camera, folks. They got you. There's no peekaboo here. You're caught.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. You're on camera everywhere now. People have it on their doorbells.
Very true. Very, very true. All right. Buffalo man arrested for allegedly possessing narcotics and illegal fireworks. This was in Ellicott, New York. Multiple agencies in the southern tier have arrested a man for illegally possessing various legal narcotics and illegal fireworks. 23-year-old Dante Fryer was stopped on Route 60 in the town of Ellicott on Tuesday. Officers seized the drugs. They seized those drugs and the fireworks and placed them into evidence. Fryer was released on an appearance ticket and is scheduled to appear in the town of Ellicott court at a later date. There's a lot of stuff going on in the 716. A lot of stuff going on in Western New York. It's quite awkward. Quite awkward. Kenmore, Ellicott town, Ellicott, Ontario. We just got a lot of people doing a lot of stuff everywhere, I see. All right. Change of scenery on the news as we talk about people with disabilities facing the employment crisis. Even before the pandemic, the employment rate for people with disabilities hovered around 30% compared to 70% of people with no disability, according to the New York State People with Disabilities Employment Task Force. Members and advocates need to be doing more advocacy to help these lovely people with finding employment and resources. But members and advocates said after the pandemic, the crisis became catastrophic, obviously. We're very frustrated with the rate of employment for people with disabilities. Still, we have no traction with getting people more jobs. Sure, you don't. Do a better job. Says Susan Duha, who is the executive director of the for the Center of Independent for Independence of the Disabled, and why. People with disabilities are often not able to get employment. They face discrimination. Stop discriminating. And are amongst the first to be laid off in the downturn. Cut it out. When I was younger, I wanted to work, but even though I had a diploma, I had went to college, I was told the only place for me was a sheltered workshop. I knew if I went to a workshop, it would be hard to achieve finding employment, says Janice Barley. Janice Barley, I would love to find you and interview you on another show, by the way. Um, Barley said she couldn't find a job and was frustrated, but she went on to get her medical billing certificate and got a job as a public speaker. Good. I'm happy for her. I hope she's advocating for others that deal with the same issues in this godforsaken city. The city of good neighbors, by the way. From that point on, I stopped settling for things and wasn't right. That wasn't right for me. She said, growing up in my generation, people with a developmental or physical disability weren't expected to work. We were expected to stay home and collect a monthly check from the government instead. Everybody ain't trying to collect from the government. Some people actually want to do things with their life. Thank you. Discrimination and unemployment rate for people with disabilities is now at a new high. For people with disabilities, the employment rate hovers around 30%, not the unemployment rate, the employment rate, said Erica Molina, who is the program director and attorney for at the Disabilities Rights and why. Now, there's a push to change that. Hopefully there is and should have been already. Assembly member Harvey Epstein is sponsoring a bill to improve the 70% unemployment rate among New Yorkers with disabilities by hiring qualified people in state government. I'd love to check on that. People with disabilities offer so much to our society and have given the right and just given the right support and circumstances, they could be amazingly productive members of society as if they are already, and give back so many thought-provoking ways. The bill is currently in committee. Well, hurry up and pass it. Selena, how do you feel about the treatment that people with disabilities are getting, and do you deal with those issues on your front?
Um,
Wisconsin.
in Wisconsin, I know it's very hard to get on disability. You have to apply for it several times before you can even get on disability. I know that is very true and specific. You have to apply at least twice. I've never heard of anybody in Wisconsin being able to get on it, and it's a strenuous process to get on disability. So I don't think it's fair. I've never been through it, but no, I don't think it's fair.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know enough to know anything else about the issue.
Interesting. All right. So, real quick before we go, we're going to do Citizens Voice, in which I'm going to read some comments from our feed, and we have breaking news. Breaking news that is going to be announced in a few minutes as soon as we are done with Citizens Voice. So, Dwayne Woodley said, no, the government doesn't care about their citizens. Jade, what's going on, Jade? She said, I'm on disability and have been working the whole time through everything. Said, you have to get a disability lawyer. That's sad. People shouldn't have to go through all that. Now, in a few minutes, as soon as we are done with said, yeah. Ricky said you're not missing anything, Selena. Just go to Minnesota and you see a lot of the same difference. I say if they're willing to work, let them work. Absolutely. British Columbia represent. Absolutely. If you're watching from the British Columbia, we thank you for watching us. Thank you. We appreciate it greatly. Let's see what else everyone has to say. There's a lot of comments in here today.
Yeah, there is.
There was a lot of comments, and I want to thank everybody who tuned in for sure. So, with that being said, so earlier in the show, folks, we played a snippet in which was the very first Bringing It a Full Circle episode. It was also the very first segment on Bringing It Full Circle. And it was also Selena Seibert's first segment as a news anchor. So, with that being said, I am going to allow Selena the floor now as she gives you breaking news.
I will be stepping down as an anchor for Bringing It Full Circle. I have learned a lot because I have dove into this head first. That first tidbit, what Andre played earlier, that's why my glasses were fogging up, was because I started crying. But I will be stepping down as an anchor. I will be moving into field journalism, which is where I think my passion is really at. I've done it twice now, once for not anything huge or big, where I just went to a Black Lives Matter lemonade stand where there were a bunch of kids who were trying to raise money for Black-owned businesses, and it moved me. And just to speak with the community and to be there with the community. I've also organized and went to organize a vigil for my community for Cody Dunker, a girl who went missing and her body was found the next day. That was hard, but it was part of my community where I could actually be part of them and get to be with them and interview them, and it's part of my learning journey. And I also, the very next day, got to field report live on Breaking It Full Circle, the Black Lives Matter protests in Baraboo, which was very, very exciting for me. It was, there's a lot of emotions that go into these protests. So, while you're feeling it, I'm also learning. And it's very emotional. And so I found that field reporting is where my passion lies. And seeing Andre in the field before, I was like, oh, I wish I could be there. So I'm going to be out with the community. I'm going to be learning more about Wisconsin. I'm going to be interviewing. I'm going to be finding out more about Native American racism and what they face here. More of what's going on face to face with people, as opposed to sitting here and doing the I shouldn't say sitting here. I know what I'm doing is really, really super important, and that we're bringing you citizens news, and we're taking calls, and we're listening to people, and we're having the conversations that need to be had to learn and grow. But now I get to focus on more of my passion and what I really want to do. We will. Tonight is my last night as your anchor, and next week I believe, Andre, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we'll be bringing in our new anchor.
Yes, I'll show you. Our new anchor is going to be Stephanie Renee Tapley. She is a very intuitive, very smart, very educated. She's a teacher from El Paso, Texas, who Selena referred me to. And I had a great conversation with her just the other day. If you were watching on Facebook, um, we had a phenomenal conversation in which she has great ideas. So now I feel like, uh, let me first and foremost say this. I can't wait. I can't wait to continue to move in positivity. There will never be a Selena Seibert on bringing it full circle as an anchor. Never. I don't care who takes her position or spot. But I feel like we have a dream team now. Selena is going to be able to do what she wants to do passionately, which is field journalism. And Stephanie is going to be able to do what she wants, which is kind of being the anchor here with me. And we are going to continue to push the same purpose that we always have, bringing it full circle, um, and giving you real news, and real thoughts with the news that we present to you. So we hope to see Selena as much as possible, as much as we can. Uh, and of course, I am very saddened by all this. You can best believe, super saddened by it. The same token, Stephanie Tapley is going to be here on Wednesday. We're going to do a run through probably sometime between now and Tuesday to get her ready. And we're going to bring it full circle, but no one brings it full circle like Selena. So uh, much love to you. And
Thank you.
I want to thank you so very much for everything. As an anchor, I've learned a whole hell of a lot from you. And we got to continue to just keep pushing. But you will see Selena on the Love Show, by the way. Um,
Yes,
on the Love Show, where we let the voices empower. On Fridays, you will see Selena a lot more, and Selena is going to be introducing something new to us tomorrow on that show.
oh, yeah,
Absolutely. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we hope you support us. Definitely.
absolutely. And this is not loss. It's sad today, tears and all, but it's not loss. It's definitely growth. I'm very excited for Stephanie because she is very educated and she speaks eloquently, and I think a lot of people are going to relate to her, and I think this is a really great choice. But yeah, still sad. Not sad, but
I
yeah.
want Velocity to stay here.
No more music videos. Don't play me any more music videos.
Um, actually, we going out with a little bang.
Oh,
Uh,
geez.
I'm actually going to play Selena's second episode along with bringing it full circle at the end, and we're going to end it that way. So we want to thank you so very kindly for tuning in to bringing it full circle with us, always supporting. We appreciate you greatly.
Absolutely. Still like and share. Rise up to opportunity.
Absolutely. And wow. All right. We appreciate y'all. Thank you again.
Thank you. Hi there, everyone. Today is July 2nd, 2020. I'm Selena from Wisconsin, and we also have here with us.
You know who I am, the fire starter, Andre the Torch Robinson, Western New York zone. What's up?
Nothing. I'm good. I did my homework today and reversed the narrative.
Did you? Did you?
Do
All
I get
right.
prize?
Absolutely. Now, during the show, you will be able to see these 3 songs that I have on Twitter, okay? BIF Circle on Twitter. All right? Make sure you go check it out. Selena, what's up in world news?
We've got a couple of stories in world news today. In 10 years, Tesla has gone from public market newbie to the most valuable automaker in the world by market value. In January, Tesla became the most valuable U.S. automaker ever when its market cap hit $81.39 billion. Still, a few automakers remained ahead of Tesla until now. The company's market capitalization now stands at $208 billion, surpassing Toyota to become the world's most valuable automaker. By the market value and standards, but Toyota's market cap is still at $274.74 billion, just trailing it. The automaker's stock price has confounded some analysts as it continues to rise and then fall, but rise again, despite a series of controversies and setbacks. However, Tesla has certainly accelerated production and deliveries. Tesla delivered 367,500 electric vehicles in 2019. That's 50% more than the previous year. The Tesla share price also appears immune to the effects, while Tesla is immune to the effects that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on the rest of the automotive industry. While even Tesla experienced COVID-19 related slowdowns as well as temporary suspension of production, investors have continued to buy and push share price higher. Tesla's share price could rise again if its second quarter delivery and production figures meet and surpass analyst expectations. Analysts polled by FactSet expected sales of 72,000 vehicles in the second quarter. Andre, are you surprised that Tesla is now the most valuable automaker?
I actually have the pleasure of working at Tesla. So shout out to the Tesla family, by the way.
Which I didn't know until right before the show.
Yep, shout out to the Tesla family. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put your hat on one time. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to the Tesla family. They are phenomenal at what they do.
Also in world news, national news actually, Trump signs an order prioritizing job skills over college degree in government hiring. A college degree will no longer give Americans a leg up when seeking some jobs in the federal government. Administration officials say that the shift will allow the government to hire more inclusive work-based force based on skill instead of a person's educational level. The federal government is the nation's largest employer with 2.1 million civilian workers. Americans, what do you think this is going to allow more Americans a chance to receive a federal job?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Is it going to be diverse in federal jobs? Are they gonna? I mean, I gotta ask the questions. Who are we hiring here?
Right.
Are we hiring just who we want to hire, or are we hiring qualified folks? Along with the fact of hiring qualified folks, we're making sure we hire a plethora of qualified folks.
Right. There's also the fact that there have been people who have already went to college just to get that piece of paper to get these federal jobs, who have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans to get these jobs, and now they're in debt for all this money, while new people are just coming in based on, and these people, people who have already went to college, they could have been already, before they went to school, been qualified for the job, but they needed that paper. So now they owe all this money, and they have a job, but now people can just come in with the experience and they don't have to worry about it. So are student loans going to be forgiven?
Well, it would be nice if they could defer student loans. In fact, I would rather have deferred student loans and rent-free payments than stimulus checks.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
I mean, just for the simple fact, a couple reasons. Number one, it alleviates the stress of having to continue to constantly worry about paying these bills. A lot of people have problems just paying bills in general. Remembering when to pay bills, the whole 9 yards. That's just first and foremost. And then number two, the nagging fact that you have this chain to the back of your back that says student loans or rent. Taking that chain off right now would be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal. I think it would be a better service. It would do us as a people a better service to defer those student loans and give rent free, since technically you're in a place of refuge during the pandemic. We love you.
Signing off.